Political chaos in Virginia today, where Ralph Northam has still not heeded calls to resign from fellow Democrats after the discovery of that racist yearbook image. And then today, a woman named Vanessa Tyson, political science professor, came forward to accuse the 39-year-old African-American lieutenant governor, Justin Fairfax, of sexual assault back in 2004. He denies that accusation, says the encounter was consensual. Now, Fairfax would be the next in line should Northam resign. And should Fairfax resign or decline to ascend, the next in line would be the state attorney general, Mark Herring, who today released his own statement admitting to dressing in blackface while he was in college at age 19. The Democratic Party in Virginia and around the nation is painfully struggling in real time with what it means to be truly a party of gender equity and multiracial democracy and the standards it sets for elected officials in the party itself. Joining me now, the first Democratic presidential candidate to call for Northam to resign, Julian Castro. Good to have you here.
Great to be with you.
Why did you were the first out of the gate when the image came forward. Are you comfortable with the call you made?
Oh, yeah, I am comfortable with it. And just so that you know how I made it, first of all, we had somebody who did this when he was a medical school student. This is not somebody that was 15 years old. It was in 1984, so we're not talking about 50 or 60 years ago. And also, to me, one of the significant things was that he did not come forward affirmatively. This is somebody did this research and brought this forward.
Right.
If he had come forward and said, look, I messed up, you know, and I've learned since then, that might have been different. But those are the things that I thought about. I think maybe the most important thing is, and you alluded to this a second ago, that the party is struggling through this. We are the party that respects everybody and that says that everybody counts. And we're trying to live by that example. And this is part of that. And this can be painful. We've had instances over the last couple of years that have been painful, that have been messy. But I'm confident that at the end of the day, what we're going to have is not only a stronger Democratic Party, more importantly, we're going to have a stronger country that lives by these values of respect for everybody.
I want to say that I want to offer some sort of arguments I hear from folks in the Democratic Party and Democratic base here and have you respond to them. They're not necessarily what I believe. I think it's a complicated situation. But I hear from folks all the time Al Franken, who are angry about what happened to Al Franken, thinks it shouldn't have happened, it was unfair, and look who's the president of the United States. What is your feeling about that?
Well, number one, I would say that we always have to take these things on a case-by-case basis, right? But you have to look at the evidence that you have in front of you. In this case of Northam, he acknowledged on Friday that was basically acknowledged that was him. And
although
then,
he seems to have
and then
moonwalked
Saturday,
that back.
he you know, said something different. When they did this, how they did it, all of that matters. I guess, you know, in some of the critique, what I do hear and I understand is people saying, look, for a long time, when claims like this came forward, the problem was that nobody took them seriously. Right? There was this culture of dismissing them. That was wrong. What they say is, we understand now they shouldn't be dismissed, they should be taken seriously, but we need some way of figuring out, a process of figuring out when should somebody resign, when do we act, and when do we not. And to be honest,
do you feel you have that figured out? Like in the case of Justin Fairfax, do you have an opinion about what Mr. Fairfax should do?
Do I have all of that figured out? No, I don't. And I think that that your description is accurate, that right now we are going through this process. I don't know if I would only say struggling, but I would say thinking through how we do that. I read through Dr. Tyson's statement. You know, I'm inclined to believe her statement. I believe that it's credible. Now, he has denied that. My hope is that there will be some process to get to the bottom of that. He has said that now he's saying that he takes it seriously. I think that we should all take it seriously. And, you know, if we don't take these claims seriously, then we're going back to this time when in every workplace in America, they can be dismissed. We cannot go back to that place.
You know, one of the other things I hear, and people have emailed me a lot who are watching the Virginia story unfold, but also other things. this kind of time warp discomfort people have, right? How do you, what did you do when you were 21 or 25? And if that came out, do you want to have your, life destroyed about that? Like, do you think about these things in terms of statutations? Do you think about it in terms of your own life? Did you run through in your head as you were preparing to run for president, like, what have I done?
I think everybody does that, and nobody's perfect, right? I think all of us at different points have done things with, you'd say you got to go back and think, and also because I think it's fair to say that.
Do you want to tell me what those things are?
I'm sure the Oppo book is there.
Yeah.
It's there, Chris. No, I mean, to be clear, I have not dressed up in blackface,
right.
have not harassed individuals, but this is an opportunity for all of us to demonstrate that we take claims seriously, and also, I think, to get to a point where we understand how to seriously handle these claims and ensure that there is fairness and justice in the end. The other thing I would say, and this came up in the Northam conversation, is that it's different to accept and forgive an apology, and for somebody to stay in a position of trust and authority.
You mean the distinction between how you feel about the human being in a sort of redemptive sense, like, should that person be canceled? Do I write them off? And should they be the governor of Virginia?
That's right. I believe in forgiveness. I believe in redemption. Is it always appropriate for that person to remain in his or her position of power? Usually it's a guy like
right.
this. No, it's not always appropriate. And I think one of the problems for Governor Northam is that he can no longer lead the state of Virginia effectively. And the people of Virginia deserve a governor who can lead effectively.
Do you anticipate this playing out in this primary?
Well, I think it is already. One of the reasons that I came out when I did was because I believe that it's important for us to lead with our values. And if we're going to talk the talk, we need to walk the walk. So, yeah, I think in different ways.
Julian Castro, former Secretary of HUD and running for President of the United States, based out of San Antonio. Good to have you here in New York.
Thanks, Chris.
Come by anytime. Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.